Hey you guys, we're back with another video. Today we're gonna be doing another layer wrap with the illusion part. We're using beauty elements and lengths 16 and 2/14. So you know my clients always prep before I start. Let's get into the video.
There was just one problem. I didn't make a lot of money, so you know we did the best we could with what we had. Tiffany grew up in a lower income neighborhood. She and her family didn't have much. They certainly didn't have the funds to send her to law school. To save up for college,
I can't just let
Tiffany
nobody
took
beat me. I'm
advantage of her
sorry.
good looks.
Move around or end up getting killed.
Exactly.
If you don't make them leave, they gonna end up killing you, or you gonna go end up killing them.
It just kind of sucked me in. It was exciting. I liked it. In order to be in that lifestyle of being a stripper, you have to have some strongness about you. Luckily, Tiffany's boyfriend, Ryan, didn't mind her profession. Ryan was well liked by everyone. Wherever he went, he was getting big ups from people. She was attracted to a guy who is well liked and respected. Ryan had always made Tiffany feel wanted and cared for. But one night, everything changed. He was kind of disheveled. He had like some dirt on his pants. And he was like, I want today.
They didn't show her yet, did it?
Some guy could have gone him. He
I don't
took
think so.
money. Tiffany knew they wouldn't be able to make their apartments rent without that money.
How the fuck can you dance? What you dancing for? Peanuts? There she go. She is so pretty.
Yeah, not her, the one that did the show.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's her actor. Her
He said he'll put some money in her pocket, you know, if you just spend a little time with him.
pimping her out.
Initially, Tiffany was horrified by the suggestion.
Oh yeah.
I was discussing that question, like, no, who does that? That's not what I do. I would never do that. She probably felt like I never thought that I would sell my body for money.
Open. You can open the next one.
All strippers are not into that world. Eventually,
Hello?
Ryan wore her down.
After y'all drop tonight, y'all drop together. So
Even though she was uncomfortable with the situation, she reluctantly agreed to do it.
don't she gotta go to work?
Even though it was
At two.
inconvenient and degrading for her. After that night,
Where you at?
Tiffany thought the whole thing was over.
No, she worked both jobs today. She worked at the hair store from 2 to something, then she go to Dairy Queen from 8 to 11. To do what?
It's just easy. Funding.
She wearing what she got on to her to the hair store.
Why not?
You ain't with them?
Save even more.
Alright, okay.
Ryan continued to coax Tiffany and sleeping with other men for money to help pay the bills. He had been manipulating her for a good bit, using a whole lot of psychological tactics to make her trust him, to care about him.
Who's she?
Eventually, he was
You
ruining
got
her.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he worked on my brain. He worked from inside of my brain. Fortunately, after 4.5 years under Ryan's control, Tiffany finally was able to get away from it.
Fine.
From turning traitor.
Yeah.
Oh, you so nice.
She was so wild to me.
She left in the other night when Brian was sleeping and never looked back.
By the spring of
Some women can't
2009,
leave with me.
Found him. They found him. He got her again. She was so pretty.
That was her, right? Who did the
Yeah.
show? Okay.
So I can only imagine how she used to look before all the shit he put her through.
Regular guys would not
The
understand.
going through shit will change the look.
Yes, drastically.
A charming stranger,
Yes, they were.
28-year-old Philip Anderson.
And Philip went in Novella.
Who? That's the
That's the
dude.
one who bust her mouth out.
Wait, so she done been with several dudes that be beating on her?
Okay.
Oh, hell no.
I think Philip was the one that bust her mouth open with the bust her in the mouth with the dad and broke up her
What is, first off, what is you doing to these dudes? For one?
Don't want to work.
Oh, well then, yeah.
Prostitute.
It was
That's pretty much
different
what
than
he
any of that
making her,
anyway.
making them do.
They had the very deep.
And they probably done heard about it before, so bitch, you gonna go ahead and run her like everybody else was doing.
Tiffany
Yeah.
bared her soul to Philip
The
about her
streets
ex,
talk.
about what he manipulated her into doing. He seemed to listen with concern.
That's what she messed up at.
To him,
Why would you tell him that what you went through with another man, you selling yourself, like that was a way for him to, that's how he gonna do you then.
and Tiffany thought she had finally found a good man
Yeah.
who wouldn't judge her for
Oh.
what she'd been through. We decided that we were going to be idle. He is basically promising her, I'm going to take care of you. You don't have to worry. From that moment on, Tiffany and Philip were inseparable. He made sure that he was better than Brian in every single way.
Nah.
Gave me everything that I wanted that I didn't have while I was with Brian. She eventually saw Brian as a loser and saw Philip as someone who could be a partner, someone who could also provide for her. Not only was the emotional connection there, but the physical connection was more than Tiffany had ever thought possible. When you neglect a woman's mind, then the body follows. And that's what he did. This was Brian's
Yeah, so he can run you like
how
the
he
other
made my body feel and how he talked to me. Those were things that really resonated with me. But soon, Tiffany would find out Philip had more in common with her ex than she thought. So once you're in that lifestyle, you just move from one bad guy
To the
to the
next.
other. And it's a sad cycle.
Oh, you done told them how to treat you, don't you?
January 1st, 2011, 12:45 a.m. Police have just arrived at a home on the south side of Atlanta, where a 22-year-old woman has been shot. Alicia Wells had been shot in the chest outside of a New Year's Eve party.
Right now, all that law enforcement has is a vague description of a female who was running away from the crime scene.
Officers move partygoers away from the victim to assess her injuries. To their surprise, Alicia is able to name her shooter.
She said it was a young woman named Tiffany Rainey. She couldn't say much more. She was in a lot of pain and fading fast.
Police put out an APB for Tiffany Rainey, and the entire city is on lookout. There was a poster like armed and dangerous. There was a reward out for my arrest. It was absolutely crazy. Soon, detectives will come face to face with their shooter, only to find out this hardened criminal was really just a woman so in love with her man that she was willing to do whatever it took to keep him.
She realizes, I need to do this in order to prove to him that I'm loyal, that I'm ride or die.
Thank you.
After ending a toxic relationship with her ex, Brian Jones, Tiffany Rainey thought she had found the man of her dreams in 28-year-old Philip Anderson.
After leaving Brian, Tiffany really wanted to gain control over her life. She wanted to be her own woman.
But you went and told another man what he put you through, and you think he ain't gonna use that against you later,
I
idiot?
felt like he was my best friend.
Yeah, that's what he wanted you to feel. Lose your guard and get walked.
Than she ever imagined, and sent her spiraling into a pattern of abuse and control she couldn't escape.
It's almost like a case of Stockholm syndrome. She feels like she has to be loyal. I believe in being a real ride or die.
January 1st, 2011. Just hours after Alicia Wells was shot outside a New Year's house party, Atlanta police are on the hunt for their suspect.
Alicia was able to name Tiffany Rainey as the shooter right away. Police immediately put out an ATV for Tiffany.
Fortunately, Alicia is expected to make a full recovery. As police scour the area for Tiffany, detectives head to the hospital to interview their victim about what happened.
Alicia told detectives that she and Tiffany had actually been friends.
She said the whole incident was a blur. She remembers fighting with Tiffany. And then it got shot. And the next thing she remembers is waking up in the hospital.
Detectives ask Alicia what sparked the fight, but Alicia says it all happened so fast, she's having trouble remembering.
Alicia says they've been growing apart lately, getting in some little cat fights here and there, but nothing like this. She was shocked that her friend would do something like this to her. It was out of character.
At this point, the motivation behind this brutal attack was still mystery.
Detectives thank Alicia for her time and head back to the drawing board.
Cops needed to find Tiffany ASAP before she hurt someone else.
Days pass without any sign of Tiffany, but as detectives try to plan their next move, they get an unexpected break.
Law enforcement gets a tip to where Tiffany is hiding.
Someone dined her out. They found her.
Police race to an apartment complex just outside of the city, where they locate their shooter. Tiffany Rainey is taken into custody without incident, but it's clear the 26-year-old is overcome with emotion.
She's unsure of what her future will be. I couldn't believe it. I was devastated. Like, I couldn't even understand.
Back in Atlanta, detectives sit down with their suspect. They begin by telling Tiffany that Alicia has survived the attack and has named her as the shooter.
That's what they begin people kill from. What they tell
I'll
all
stay
that?
saying
What
that.
is
Like,
going
why are
on?
you telling who told?
Alicia's alive.
Just I know it was you, not confess.
This is great.
All she gotta do is make a one call and let them know that they know.
Yeah, and heat up the place.
Exactly.
Knowing she's cornered, Tiffany confesses to the shooting.
Tiffany knows at this point she can't hide any longer. Guilt has been eating her alive.
Tiffany admits that as soon as she and Alicia spotted each other outside of the party, things escalated quickly.
Lots of
I
dick.
told Alicia.
They was friends. I don't think they got into it, but I think because she didn't want to do something or something.
Tiffany
Oh,
tells
okay.
detectives that in that moment, she did the unthinkable.
Tiffany pulled out a gun. I pulled the trigger. And when I backed up, she was down. It was blood everywhere.
Tiffany thinks that she kills this girl after shooting her. These intense feelings of fear and sadness were definitely overwhelming for Tiffany.
She was my friend. I couldn't understand how I could have killed my friend. She ran away from the scene and ultimately went on
Yes.
the run.
You know, that's the passcode yesterday.
It's quite
The
a scene,
passcode.
but there's
Yeah,
one thing
oh my
that's
God.
clear.
I didn't play
Why
yesterday.
With Alicia escalated in the first place.
You said you would put them
When
on
detectives
Pascal.
asked Tiffany
No, I had to download it on my
they're
phone.
taken aback by her reaction.
Oh. You got
The
headphones?
detective asked her to explain her
No, but I'm
motivation
getting my hair done.
behind
I'm gonna call you when I leave,
it. She
okay?
stands up and decides to ask for
I don't want that.
Yes.
I said, I don't have to talk to
All right,
nobody.
love you.
Detectives
No.
are puzzled at Tiffany's sudden change in demeanor.
All right, love you.
They know she's hiding something, or perhaps protecting someone.
That was too cute.
Though detectives believe there's more to Tiffany's story than she's revealing, they arrest her and charge her with attempted murder. I was devastated. This is supposed to go differently.
She think that's so wrong.
Someone will
That's why she acting
will
like
clear
that.
up the holes in Tiffany's story. She followed his lead. She learned his rules. She's not going to leave. Where's she going? I let myself get beside myself. I felt like it was Philip's spirit inside of me. All this time I spent with Brian, doing things that I felt like I hated the most. I was tricked into becoming that. So by the time I met Philip, I liked him. It was easier than being with Brian. He was much more handsome. He definitely always saved our money. He never lost it. And I loved him.
The whole
January
life on.
2011. Atlanta police have 26-year-old Tiffany Ramey in custody for the shooting of her friend, 22-year-old Alicia Wells. But there's one element of the investigation still missing: the motive. Neither Alicia or Tiffany were able to give them a clear motive for the crime.
I just seen the part when he hit him in the face with the
Alicia
bat.
said it seemed out of character for her friend, and she didn't remember much from the night of the shooting.
Oh hell no.
Tiffany confessed to the crime, but when it came to talk about motive, she claimed that
But it's clear they aren't going to learn the truth from her.
At this time, Tiffany would not budge.
Days pass, and just when detectives think the case has hit a dead end, they catch a lucky break. An old friend of Tiffany's, Raven Palmer, comes forward. Raven tells detectives she knows the shooting looks bad, and that she doesn't condone what Tiffany did. But she wants to give officers the full story, in an attempt to help her friend.
Raven says Tiffany doesn't want to be a snitch, but she did what she did at the direction of her man, Philip Anderson.
Raven tells detectives that at first, Philip was like a dream come true for Tiffany.
Y'all going to jail by
Tiffany
that.
believed that she and Philip were partners. They were a team. She thought he loved her.
He acknowledged her past and agreed to be there for her no matter what. He promised he'd never hurt her. But Raven says eventually, another side of Philip began to emerge. And Tiffany started to lose herself for her man again.
Raven tells detectives about Tiffany's tumultuous relationship with her ex, Brian Johnson.
Tiffany was still looking for her knight in shining armor. Unfortunately, she didn't see that Philip was just the same as Brian. Raven claims it all started when Philip asked for Tiffany's help in acquiring some drugs, and Tiffany agreed. I felt like, well, this is my chance to show him what I really got. This was my opportunity to prove myself to him.
Yeah, they showed him that she was at Long Beach.
But Raven claims the drug deal went horribly wrong.
It was all a setup for a robbery. The deal had someone hiding in the bushes outside the house.
He pops out of the bushes with a baseball bat and hits me in my face. He hit me so hard it felt like sand in my mouth.
Oh
I'm
hell
not
no.
thinking, I'm not even crying yet. What is this liquid? It was blood. It was everywhere. Raven says the incident broke Tiffany's jaw, fractured her teeth, and split her lip. My teeth were wired shut for 8 weeks. Raven tells detectives that even though the incident was traumatic for Tiffany, she loved Philip's attentiveness after the fact. He would hold my mouth all the way shut so that it would relieve the pressure of the wires long enough for me to go to sleep.
So that made you feel like he loved you.
Again.
But according to Raven, when Tiffany's wires came off 8 weeks later,
She was back sucking
Philip
dick.
flipped the switch. When they took the wires off, he was like, okay, so you know it's time for you to get back to work, right? He wanted her to get back to work at the strip club, but he also wanted her to assist in more drug deals, which must have been terrifying for Tiffany after what happened the first time. I felt like I owed him because he took care of me.
Girl, he the fucking reason you was like that. You owe him shit.
You're gonna do anything for someone that you love or that you think love you. But despite Tiffany's devotion to Philip, Raven says her friend's hell was only just beginning.
He started putting hands on her.
I had the most severe ass whooping I ever had in my life.
I bet you did.
January 2011. 26-year-old Tiffany Ramey sits in a jail cell, awaiting sentencing for shooting her friend, Alicia Wells, outside of a house party on New Year's Eve.
Police know she's guilty of the crime. What they don't yet understand is the motive.
However, Tiffany's friend Raven Palmer has come forward with the promise of shedding new light on the investigation.
Raven claims Tiffany is a good person at heart, and all this happened as a result of Tiffany being involved with the wrong man.
That man was Philip Anderson. According to Raven, Philip had gotten Tiffany wrapped up in his drug trade business, and things only got worse from there. If he gave me a quote and I made it, then I came home and everything was fine. If not, I got ass whooped. Raven says when the beatings got worse, Tiffany tried to leave Philip for good.
You done hurt your friend and all this, and this nigga still ain't
Kind
coming.
of guy he was. So I tried to stay in places where I knew he didn't know a lot of people, which wasn't very many. Raven tells detectives that before long, Philip tracked Tiffany down. And he was like, "Oh, so you're not ever coming back home?" And I was like, "What?"
She think that's so cute.
I just need some time.
She think that's cute.
And I really don't want to go with him because he had beat me so severely previously that I just didn't want to go. Against her better judgment, Tiffany eventually broke down and let Philip into the car. He was asking me questions, and I remember I just let all my feelings come out. I told him, "I don't want to be with you anymore. I really can't stand you." And when the words came out of my mouth, he reached back. He put his gun to my thigh, and he pulled the trigger. And he pointed the gun in my face, and he told me, "Find the bullet, or I'm going to pull the trigger again." And at this time, I'm freaked out. Okay,
Wow.
there's a hole in my leg, and I'm bleeding. Raven says, despite her friend's pain, Tiffany did as her man instructed.
I like him crazy, but not that damn Looney Tunes.
Fortunately, Philip allowed Tiffany to go to the hospital to get her leg treated, as long as she stayed quiet about what really happened. I was in a lot of pain. I got shot with a 9mm and went all the way through. It shattered my femur bone.
And he told us about the bullet that he was gonna do it again.
But you still won't give up on it. Raven says, although Tiffany was honest with her about
Oh,
shoot.
just like Philip asked.
we're back, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the layers.
And then it molds your brain the way that they need it to be. June 28th, 2011. Tiffany Ramey is in prison, awaiting sentencing on charges of attempted murder. I felt horrible, and I just kind of lost myself. That's when Tiffany gets a letter from someone she never expected. It's from Alicia Wells, the woman she had shot. It was like, "Look, I'm sorry this happened between us. I hope you don't get in trouble for this. I really don't want this to be how the end of your life is."
This was a huge shift for Tiffany. Once she was forgiven, once she was given a second chance, then that set the pace for her to move forward.
The forgiveness from her former friend was stunning.
Turn the camera
But
some
it
that
wasn't
way.
the only thing
They don't see
Tiffany
the
got
cut.
during her
Who is it?
behind bars.
Yeah, right there.
Tiffany was pregnant.
She had a one-night stand when she was on the run.
Though the timing was far from ideal, Tiffany took her pregnancy as a blessing.
Now you can see the detail.
To have a baby.
They let you exchange it. One of them.
As
I had
her
got 2 packs.
Oh.
Two
Without
finished.
Tiffany
Oh,
there
okay.
to guide the other women, his
So you had to rebuy them?
No, he let me swap one out,
Okay.
Stayed there and left to do their own thing.
and I just bought one.
In December of 2011, Tiffany goes before the judge. I explained to the judge, I know what I did, but let me tell you why. And I know what my record is like, but let me tell you this. I never had a reason to do anything right in my whole life. Please don't take me away from my baby. Tiffany's lawyer offers the letter from Alicia to bolster their request for leniency. That letter turned out to be one of the determining factors in my case. The judge told me, "I don't know why I want to help you, but this is what we're going to do." The judge gives Tiffany probation for time served and orders her to complete 5 years of community service. I can go home. I've been in the free world. I knew God had something for me to put in my life. Tiffany and her family are overjoyed.
I did feel relief. I think we all did. I think we all felt like we could breathe a little.
We were just really happy to have her home. To this day, Tiffany Ramey credits her son for saving her life. I named him Messiah because he saved me. And I changed everything about my life. Tiffany has completely cut ties with both Brian and Philip. She is now committed to building a future for herself and her son.
She has full custody of her son. In addition to that, most importantly, she has a meaningful relationship with her family. And that's a beautiful thing.
She's showing us that she wants to be in a better place. And our arms are open.
something's split for her. She wants it. She wants her life back.
After being manipulated by not one, but two men, you learn that being someone's ride or die is not love, but a betrayal of yourself.
What y'all
I
got?
can't take that advice. And look at all the things that's happened to me. I've been
Oh,
shot.
okay, well,
I've
I'm
had all
almost
my
ready,
teeth
so
knocked
that's
out,
why
my
I-
baseball bat. I've been to prison and back. This is my healing. To be able to help.
Where you got that sweater from?
Amazon.
And say, hey,
Figure. That's what you gotta do to get them real good.
No, you can go to CVS.
CVS? Really?
Yes, because I got one that's better than this.
From CVS?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not gonna need a good sweater.
or they can destroy us. When a pattern becomes dangerous, you run the risk of losing it all and being swallowed whole by that which you can't escape. Breaking the cycle isn't
You
easy,
don't have to eat some?
Mm-hmm.
but in the end,
I'm starting the book next week.
Okay, I got you number. I'll be one of the first ones.
You know, people already
Really?
on text, yeah, since the beginning of the month.
Oh! Yeah, they, you know they is, because they bring the Easter
That's
parade
the
back
holiday.
too.
They is.
You ain't seen it on Facebook?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, let me I think I shared it. Yeah, they bring the Easter parade back, so you know
They finna be a
on
minute.
their ass. Oh, I think I see.
Oh yeah, this one. Did I mute the TV? I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, this one.
See?
Oh, okay.
April 4th.
Mhm.
Hello? Yeah. You can hear me? You can hear me? What you said? I mean, if you can cook it, why you ain't been called? You should have called told them yesterday. It's just 2 steak, a little thing of mashed potatoes, and broccoli.
Hello, Sensei.
Oh my God.
Jones, returning your phone call. Hi.
Mhm. Stay just like that. Now turn around. Stay as. All right, you good.